As you've already guessed, we're talking about Tiger Woods in this video, and we're going to talk about secrets to his success. And the first thing and the only thing I actually want to talk about in this video is the quote that he said in one of his interviews. Actually, he said that golf is not my identity, golf is just what I do. And I believe it's so important to just realize that in whatever you do, because if you let circumstances, results, people define who you are, then, or even the sport that you do, if you let that define who you are, first of all, it's going to create so much pressure before the match, during the match. It's going to create so much pressure in your life. You're going to lose your ability to enjoy life overall, and it's probably going to hurt your results as well, because once you let this one thing define who you are, it's just it makes your life so much harder. And realizing that if you received a good result, that is basically the consequences of good choices that you made. And it's very important that once you receive, for example, certain good results, to sit down and maybe analyze what was something that you've done right and what was something that you've done wrong, and really attribute your success to that, to hard work and the way you worked. And that is actually something that Tiger Woods himself attributes success to. He says that he's not more talented than anyone else, he just works harder than his competitors, and that's why he's been able to achieve what he's achieved. In fact, he started playing golf when he was, I believe, 3 years old. He competed against his dad. And it's actually a very common theme that parents a lot of times are very supportive of the best, the greatest athletes. They're very supportive. They take their children very early to the sport, and they really encourage this competitiveness and playfulness. A lot of times it's actually very military-like, so there's not a lot of like it doesn't look very playful, but there are most definitely a lot of playful parts in their preparation. Like, for example, Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC fighter, ex-UFC fighter right now, his work ethic and discipline was very military-like, and Rafael Nadal actually as well. But yeah, let's come back to Tiger Woods. He started playing golf since his childhood. His work ethic is insane, and he doesn't really, I believe, he doesn't identify too much with his success and failures. Golf, as I've said, he believes that golf is just something that he does. It is so important, as I've said, to realize that if you failed at something, which is failure, I don't even believe in failure. It is only, you've only failed if you stop trying. If you, let's say, if you've received a certain lesson and you didn't achieve the result that you wanted to achieve, it's not your fault. It's not like who you are as a person. It's just a feedback on basically the stuff that you did, the way you communicated with people, the way you were working, or the way you were prepared psychologically for something. And that's another thing that Tiger Woods talks about in his interviews. He says that mental toughness is something that he has learned. No one is born with mental toughness. Mental toughness is something you need to work on by yourself, maybe with a psychologist, maybe with a coach. There's so many great resources out there to basically learn to be mentally tough. Like David Goggins, honestly, I do not recommend that you do the same as him, for sure. That is not like, you should like, yeah, you shouldn't start practicing like David Goggins, but if you ultimately want to become like the toughest person on the planet, maybe that's gonna be your routine every day for at least next 5 years. But anyway, we're not here to talk about David Goggins. Let's talk about Tiger Woods. Yeah, not identifying yourself with success and failures, and really analyzing the things, the strategies that you've done right and the things and strategies that you've done wrong. And I can't really overemphasize how important it is, and how many times I see parents blaming their children, and honestly even saying straight up to their faces that you are a failure, you are a loser, you are this and you're that, and it's just not healthy. And even saying something positive to yourself, you should, like, self-talk is another very important thing. Or a lot of times I see parents telling their child that you're a champion, you're this and you're that, and it's a tough burden to carry, because now you always have to prove that you're that, and it's just not fun, and it's so much pressure. And a lot of times, like, I saw so many examples in sports where children of coaches couldn't even play the sport that their parents were coaching, simply because they couldn't handle all that pressure. They just couldn't take it, and it was just overall too much, and it didn't have to be that way. And one of actually really, yeah, this is I'm not gonna say this secret right now, how parents in case their coaches should act and behave with their kids, because there are so many examples of family members coaching their children. But let's not talk about this in this video. Let's just continue our conversation with identifying with failure and success, and with whatever you do. Basically, there always should be this perspective and this mindset that I am what I am, and this is self-concept is very important and something that you should have. But identifying with something is not a great idea. And actually, let's come back to Tiger Woods in the interview where he said that basically golf is not his identity. Then the interviewer asked him, what is your identity? Hard worker. And he said, my identity is being a hard worker. And like, believing that you are a hard worker is a great thing, right? Like, this is, working hard is something that you can control, because a lot of times you can't control in one particular moment whether you win this match or whether you lose this match, right? Like, it's not really in your control, but like working hard is in your control, like putting the best effort that you can is your control, showing up is your control. And you can't believe how many people are not even gonna show up to the event or something because of the pressure, because they just are so stressed out and they can't manage their anxiety and their emotions. And this is what this channel is actually about. This channel is about helping you guys to control your emotions before, during, and after the match, and not burn out. And this is very important as well in prevention of a burnout, because when you are overly identified with success, failure, or sport, or whatever you do, you get tired of it sometimes. And even if you're winning, let's say, it's just, as I've said, it's sometimes a lot of pressure. And when you're losing, you feel like you're failing. And as I've said, the only failure is that there is out there is when you basically stop trying. Because if you keep trying, you haven't failed. It's just failure is actually something that you can control, because as I've said, failure is not trying. I was trying to say something very eloquent, but it didn't work out. Anyway, I'm gonna improve my English and I'm gonna give you guys very good quotes. But anyway, okay, we've talked about it basically. Basically a great idea is maybe to take a piece of paper and write down your values. Write down what you want to be. Maybe it is working hard, maybe it is being passionate about what you do, maybe it's giving 100%, but there shouldn't be anything like, oh, succeeding all the time, winning this or winning that, because that's like very tricky trap, because it's something that you can control, and all your energy should be focused on something that you can control. It shouldn't be on something that is going to be helpful in your life, and just overly focusing on something that is not helpful, that is just unhealthy, and obsessing about some sort of sport and thinking that's all you've got is really going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to low self-esteem, and nothing good is going to come out of it. And thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe, click the like button, and do all this great stuff. Click on one of the videos that has appeared somewhere here. I love you guys, and thank you so much. Go to my channel and watch my other videos and analysis of great players, of your favorite players and athletes. And thank you so much for watching my channel. Love you guys.